Hi, and welcome to Biopilates Deep Dive. Today, I'd like to invite you into a reflection on an exercise everyone knows, and yet very few truly understand: the push-up. Behind its apparent simplicity lies a world of precision, biomechanics, and a fascinating conversation between muscle, breath, and nervous system. The push-up is not a test of strength. It is a study in control, in sequencing, and in awareness. I start standing at one end of the mat. My spine and pelvis are in neutral. My legs are parallel in adduction, and my arms rest alongside my body. In this stillness, the work begins. I take a deep breath in and let my spine roll forward sequentially, vertebra by vertebra, starting from the head. My arms lengthen toward the mat, and I keep my center of gravity right above the middle of my feet. As I exhale on a slow count of 4, I walk my hands forward along the mat until I reach the plank position. Now my weight is evenly distributed between the balls of the feet and the palms. My hands are placed under my shoulders, fingers pointing forward. From the tailbone to the crown of my head, I sense a long, continuous line, neutral, alive. I inhale for 3 counts, bending my elbows gently, keeping them angled diagonally backward. My chest lowers toward the mat, my spine stays organized, and my scapulae remains stable. I exhale and push the floor away, extending the elbows until I'm back in full push-up position. I repeat 3 to 5 times, maintaining the same rhythm. Then I inhale and walk my hands back toward my feet on 4 counts, letting the hips and spine flex in control. I exhale and roll up from the coccyx to the crown, vertebra by vertebra, until I'm standing tall again. I feel centered, aligned, and calm. In this movement, simplicity hides depth. Every phase of the push-up involves a delicate dialogue between the myotatic reflex, the deep stabilizers, and the breath. The myotatic reflex, or stretch reflex, is an automatic response that protects the muscle from excessive elongation. When a muscle stretches, specialized receptors within its fibers, the muscle spindles, send a message to the spinal cord, triggering a reflex contraction to control tension and maintain stability. During the descent, for example, my pectoralis major lengthens under load. The muscle spindles fire, regulating both speed and amplitude. If I go too fast, the reflex overreacts and tightens. If I go too slow, it disengages and I lose tone. The art lies in this balance, a continuous conversation between intention and reflex. When I exhale and push the floor away, the concentric phase begins. The pectorals contract and shorten, while the triceps and serratus anterior support the action. The serratus, often overlooked, keeps the scapula anchored to the rib cage, preventing it from winging. It's the quiet stabilizer that allows the shoulder to move freely and safely. The push-up is not about force, it's about coherence. My transversus abdominis and deep pelvic muscles work to stabilize the lumbopelvic area. The adductors and hip extensors engage isometrically, maintaining a strong base. At the top, the scapular stabilizers, triceps, and pectorals organize the upper kinetic chain. The breath acts as the bridge, the regulator between movement and awareness. Inhale to mobilize, exhale to stabilize. I often remind my students, do not collapse under gravity, communicate with it. The downward phase is not a fall, it's a negotiation between gravity and tone. Each repetition teaches the body to stabilize without rigidity, to yield without losing control. Anatomically, the pectoralis major is the main driver. It originates from 3 regions: the clavicle, the sternum with its costal cartilages, and the sheath of the rectus abdominis, and inserts into the crest of the greater tubercle of the humerus. Its fibers converge like a fan, allowing powerful adduction, internal rotation, and flexion of the arm. Beneath it lies the pectoralis minor, smaller and deeper, originating from ribs 3 to 5 and attaching to the coracoid process of the scapula. Its job is to stabilize the scapula against the thorax. a silent but crucial role that ensures a clean transmission of force from trunk to arm. During the eccentric phase, the descent, the myotatic reflex operates like an invisible safety net. The pectorals lengthen under tension. The muscle spindles detect the stretch and regulate it. The Golgi tendon organs, located at the junction between muscle and tendon, simultaneously monitor tension and inhibit contraction when the load becomes excessive. These two systems collaborate to preserve the integrity of the movement. At the spinal level, the sequencing of flexion and extension follows a precise rhythm. Inhalation mobilizes, exhalation stabilizes. The neutral spine remains the axis that connects the head, trunk, and pelvis, a vertical line of energy that protects and organizes. When I teach the push-up, I love introducing variations to adjust the intensity and sensory feedback. The kneeling push-up reduces the load and helps build coordination between the arms and the core. The wall push-up offers a gentler version that enhances proprioception without strain. Bringing the hands closer together, forming a diamond shape with thumbs and index fingers, shifts the focus toward the sternal fibers of the pectoralis major and engages the triceps more deeply. In contrast, directing the elbows backward emphasizes the triceps and protects the anterior shoulder capsule. The arabesque variation is my favorite. As the spine flexes forward, one hip extends and the leg rotates outward, creating an asymmetrical balance. The body rests on 3 points instead of 4. The reflex pathways become even more active. The myotatic reflex refines its modulation, the stabilizers intensify their coordination, and balance becomes both a physical and neurological experience. These adaptations are not simplifications. They are progressions, intelligent stages that train awareness before intensity. The nervous system learns through variation, not repetition alone. Each modification reshapes how we recruit, stabilize, and sense. When I practice this exercise, I imagine the muscle spindles as sensitive antennas inside my muscles. They detect stretch, tension, and vibration. They react faster than consciousness. The Golgi tendon organs, meanwhile, protect me from excessive effort. Together, they form a conversation between protection and performance, between instinct and control. Over time, these reflex loops evolve. The more I practice, the more finely tuned they become. My control improves. My descent becomes smoother. My ascent becomes efficient. This is not only muscular adaptation, it's neuromuscular intelligence in action. The brain learns to anticipate. The body learns to respond. The push-up thus becomes a lesson in regulation. The pectorals generate power. The serratus stabilizes. The breath calibrates. And the nervous system refines. The body systems cooperate like instruments in an orchestra. Each one adjusts to the others in real time. When I observe my students, I often see 3 archetypes: those who collapse, those who resist, and those who coordinate. The third group is where transformation happens. They learn to cooperate with gravity rather than fight it. That is the essence of Pilates, to educate movement through awareness, not through force. The more we understand the myotatic reflex, the more we trust the body's wisdom. The nervous system is not an enemy to discipline. It's its most faithful ally. It anticipates, protects, and adjusts faster than any conscious correction. Our task is not to override it, but to create the right conditions for it to operate efficiently through posture, tempo, and breath. As practice deepens, endurance develops naturally. The arms, shoulders, and trunk muscles adapt to bear weight without collapse. The pelvis remains stable, the spine neutral, the scapulae wide and anchored. The movement becomes a fluent phrase, guided by the rhythm of breathing, inhaling to open, exhaling to push. At the end of each sequence, I like to pause. I stand still, close my eyes, and feel the width of my collarbones, the steadiness of my center, the ease in my shoulders. I imagine the network of receptors, the muscle spindles, the Golgi organs, having worked in harmony to protect, to inform, to refine my movement. Each push-up then is more than a repetition. It's a conversation between will and reflex, between brain and muscle, between breath and gravity. If we listen closely, we discover that the body already knows. We simply need to give it the space to express that knowledge. So today, when you practice your push-ups, don't chase numbers or fatigue. Seek clarity. Let the spine roll gently. Let the breath guide you. Feel the pectorals stretch and contract, the scapulae glide, the triceps extend, the reflexes respond. Keep the pelvis in neutral. Keep the neck long. Keep your center awake. In this way, the push-up stops being an act of effort and becomes an act of language, a rhythm, a syntax of stability and flow. When reflex becomes awareness, movement becomes art. Thank you for listening to Biopilates Deep Dive.